Is this goodbye? No, it's not goodbye. Not at all. Explain yourself? I will. There's some people that are saying some pretty crazy things. I haven't even gone on Twitter. I saw other things, and I'm like, damn. But I've been around for 10 years now. A lot of you guys know, pretty far away from this stuff at this point, but I am totally okay with exposing a lot of things and saying things. At this point, I think it's pretty obvious. I will not be friends with any of these people after this. Ludwig was right. I am going
to... friends to begin with, bro. That's why you're screenshotting and taking notes and trying to find blackmail on them to begin with.
To completely separate myself from these people in this community, which is fine, and I've already been doing it, but I have hundreds of messages and DMs from people, things that people probably would never want to get released that are very interesting for everyone, and
sure,
I
think he probably does. And if it's something bad that somebody said and it's like actually matters, like it's not somebody saying a word they shouldn't say, but it actually matters, like, go ahead and release it, but I wouldn't believe anything he would put out.
We found after being with each other that her stalkers had a lot from would come to her a lot from her short form content. These people were schizophrenic and would think that she is talking to them. Whether it was songs she played, the way she looked at the screen, or just the titles of the videos, these people started to feel she was talking to them and come to our house to stalk her. These people thought in their heads they were dating her. They were out of their mind and dangerous. I told her, if we're going to be serious about this relationship, I need her to stop posting as much and to not farm these people. She agreed and understood that it was a safety concern for not only me.
It's just, bro, like, we really didn't talk about this, like, trying to get him not to do that. Like, it really, it told her to do this, like, it, and it's also, like, I mean, you dated this girl whenever she, like, you brought her to the house, and she was already doing TikToks like this to begin with, right? So, like, you knew what you were getting yourself into, and now you're trying to make her change her content. Now, after everything that we know about Miz, I think that it's much more likely that the reason why he did that is because those videos, maybe it did annoy him as her boyfriend, but also, like, you've got to keep in mind that Miz was also farming content with other girls in real life. Like, he would bring on girls like me, Jenna Lynn Meowri. He would bring on, you know, I remember Peach Jars would be on the stream, and that it wasn't like super sexual, but it wasn't not sexual either. And like there was an innuendo there, right? Emily, yeah, ST Peach, the Botas, he would bring up Alinity, Fandy, right? Yeah, he would bring these girls on all the time. So before we go and we talk about like, oh, well, it's just like a boyfriend that didn't want to be disrespected by his girlfriend. How can you talk about not wanting to be disrespected by your girlfriend and even play that card whenever you have a revolving door of girls around that you bring on to farm as if like there might be something going on? You see what I'm saying? So like it's the implication of that, right? And so like really that it's just bullshit. And so even if you believe that, it's a double standard that he had. So it's like you took a girl that makes TikToks and makes short form content and you bring her into your house and you say you're not allowed to do this anymore. Meanwhile, you're doing the same type of stuff, and Miz has his own stalkers and his own shit too. It's not like he doesn't deal with this. He deals with it too. And so at this point, I think that especially now that it's been so openly discussed and revealed that he cares a lot about viewership, I think that it's much more likely that the reason why he didn't want her posting that content is because that content would get her a lot of attention. Because it did. Big surprise. So this is the reason, like, I mean, you see kind of the reason, like, I mean, it's just, it's bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. None of it even makes any sense.
But the house, Russell, Simply, Corey, or anyone
to have double standards? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, that type of a double standard is wrong.
That was in my house or anyone that was near us. She agreed that she wouldn't want to hurt anyone else and knew that posting these types of TikToks and posts can mess with us and is something I'm not comfortable with as a guy. So she would tell me that
you're not comfortable with it as a guy, but you think that she has to be comfortable with you having all these girls on your stream. The same as, by the way, you did to her.
If I had a problem, to let her know. And at first, it was minor things here and there, but over time, it got harder and harder to deal with. There were more stress on top of this. We both had to hide the relationship from everyone. If anyone
found... had to, like, why did you have to? I know why you had to. I know why you thought you had to. You're not going to say why, are you? Let's find out if he says why.
out or was known, I could get in a ton of trouble with OTK and cause a ton
That's
of problems.
exactly right. We would have been totally okay with it. He would have had to be able to do it. We could have just signed something. It would have been totally fine. It would have been no issue at all. He was more worried about his standing in OTK, and he was more worried about making sure that he didn't look bad and lose money in OTK, and that's the reason why he wanted to keep it private. So it wasn't even about her or about him. It was about money and his position in the org. And we would have never done that even. We would have been like, okay, fine, we're happy for you, Miz. Good job. You just signed this paperwork, and then Emmy also has to sign this paperwork too. It would have been such an easy thing to do. Because do you think that like we really didn't discuss this ever? Of course we discussed this. Yeah, like that's standard. Yeah, it's standard.
Problems. I told her if we were going to be serious about this relationship, I need to stop posting as much and to
So
not.
you see what I'm saying? Like it's all literally everything about this is bullshit. It seems like you made your mind up. Well, yeah, if somebody tells you 2 + 2 is 5, how long are you going to sit around and listen to them explain why they're right? Of course I made my mind up because I know what happened.
On these people. And then there was more stress on top of this. We both had to hide the relationship from everyone. If anyone found out or was known, I can get in a ton of trouble with OTK.
Would not have happened. Would not have happened. The reason why is because you lied. You lied. If you had come out and said this at the beginning, it would not have been a problem. It's the fact that you lied repeatedly and you forced her and coerced her into the same lie.
And can cause a ton of problems in my life. So I lied to all of my old friends, S-Fan included, who lived just next door to me, and everyone in OTK. And that was very hard for me to do. We had a doggy door.
Basically that it's like a waiver that if a person that you're in a relationship with that has a supervisory role over you has something, that you waive a certain type of liability and types of recourse that you can have against a company. Like, I don't know the specifics of it. You can ask an attorney, and they can explain it further. It's like an HR thing. It's very standard. Like, basically to remove a conflict of interest.
Or between our rooms, just so we can hide it from everyone else, including my roommates. We would lock the doors to avoid our roommates finding out. As time went on, they found out, but to most of our friends in the Austin circle, they never officially knew. That stress alone would drive anyone mad. But our love for each other was strong, and we knew we could handle it. In September in 2022, a lot of you guys know, I was canceled by Trainwrecks and others, trying to claim I covered up sexual assault. It was proven wrong, but that destroyed my mental health. I felt like my brain cracked, and I was never the same since. I was suicidal, depressed, and I didn't know what to do with my own life. Every day felt like an absolute nightmare. I was losing OTK, my mental health, and all my...
You weren't losing OTK. We put you on suspension, and we invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into legal fees in order to do a third-party investigation to find out whether this happened or not. We invested so much into you in order to make sure that we did you right. That's not true.
my friends. Emiru was one of the only people that were there for me. She ditched sponsors to go with me to Japan. She went with me anywhere I needed because she wanted me to be happy. And she knew sometimes I freaked out. I lashed out, but she loved me and she knew I was in a
that's a really quick way to just kind of, just kind of gloss over it. I freaked out. I lashed out. Yeah. By like being violent and yelling and screaming and breaking stuff and punching holes in the wall, right? Like, that's a lot.
Terrible mental place. It got so bad that stress and constant talking about the same things over and over and no sleep and depression that most of my hair started to fall out and Emery started to hurt herself while we were in Japan.
I'm not going to comment on that.
As this time happened, I was a massive wreck. Couldn't think straight, and
then you hurt everybody else. See, like, I don't feel sorry for you at all, because you hurt other people in the process. Like, I would totally have absolute sympathy for Miz if you weren't hurting other people and manipulating and taking advantage of other people left and right while you were in this situation. But the truth is that, like, whenever, like, I can have sympathy for an individual, but you lose that sympathy whenever you then become an aggressor on top of that. And we see this a lot where people try to say that they were in a bad place. Oh, well, things weren't going so well for me, so I guess I had to act this way, or, oh, I acted out. Well, the thing is that when you act out and you treat a person like your personal stress ball, how do you think that makes that other person feel? And so really, this is kind of what I was saying before. Do you remember what I always talk to you guys about with, like, misplaced empathy, right? Always misplaced empathy. This is misplaced empathy. If anybody is looking at this and listening and feeling sorry for him, rather than all the people that he negatively affected, the people that he lied about, the people that he demonized, the abuse that other people had to go through, the yelling, the indirect violence, punching holes in the wall, etc. It's in the misplaced. Yeah, right. But this is taking advantage of that. Like, do you know how many times people have been mean to me and how many times, like, I've been harassed? Like, whenever I said, like, for example, like that Palestine shit, there were, like, 3 interpersonal things that were happening in, like, my personal life that were, like, really, really fucking me up. And I was, like, extremely stressed. Like, one of them was my dad's deteriorating health. The other 2 I don't want to talk about. Do you know what I did the next day? I came on there, I said, my bad. I fucked up. I shouldn't have said that. It's completely my fault. There's no excuse for it. That's it. It doesn't matter. Like, if you have a bad day and then you hurt somebody else, you're a bad person. That's it. It really, that's... You own that shit because it was a mistake. I shouldn't have said that, right? Everybody makes mistakes. People fuck up. But it's like, also, he never really took accountability for this at all until this happened. Taking accountability for their actions without lashing out on others. Yeah, that's the way, by the way, that's the way normal people behave. You owned it? Yeah, exactly. It's like I say all the time, like, once you start making excuses for evil, it's over. I say you can lie to every single person in the world except for one person that you never lie to. You never lie to yourself. Never lie to yourself. Once you do that, you're out of your mind.
And being that Amaru hung out with me all day,
literally zero sympathy. Zero sympathy, because I've had to deal with shit that's, like, way worse than this multiple times. Like, you can look at, in terms of, like, mentions and, like, Twitter mentions and everything, like, the amount of damage that, like, on an average, like, Mizkif getting canceled back then, that happens to me every month. Really. Like, and you can look at the graphs, and you'll see this is true.
he too started to become high-strung. Ugh.
And even I could do better. I'm not perfect.
We would yell at each other, fight, and argue all the time. Things we never once did. I felt this relationship was taking a huge strain, but I thought it could be fixed over time since things were just so amazing that first year. But I'm so gay. But as we stayed around longer, I started resenting her a lot more. You can take it out of remote only mode.
I'm over here.
Emaru has a lot
stroking
of
my
rabbits.
dick. I got lotion
It was
on
her
my
calling when
dick
she
right
first
now.
moved
I'm
in.
just stroking my shit.
These
I'm
were a
horny
big
as
part
fuck
of her
right
life.
now. I'm a freak
But
of
as those
mine.
rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water.
Which he lived in the house, by the way. He lived in the house this whole time. So he let this whole thing happen. Like, assuming all this is true, he let this happen. Like, that's a best case scenario. He let all this happen.
Sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come
Holy
over,
fuck, I am
would
going
give
to
them
come
what they
7,
needed,
7,
and I would
7,
tell her
7,
all the
7,
time to
7,
take care of
7,
them, but to
7,
no
7,
avail.
7, 7,
She
7,
completely
7,
neglected
7,
those
7,
rabbits,
7, 7,
so
7,
much
7,
that
7,
many of them
7,
just
7,
died
7,
over
7,
1
7,
year
7,
of
7,
being
7,
around in my
7,
house.
7, 7,
My
7,
cleaning
7,
ladies
7,
would
7,
clean them
7,
just
7,
because they
7,
felt
7,
terrible.
7,
And my brother
7,
once came
7,
over and said, and I
7,
quote,
7,
"If you
7,
ever
7,
marry this
7,
woman,
7,
I'll never
7,
forgive you."
7.
Here is a video up close of Emaru's rabbits. These are small little mites that are inside the
It's
rabbit
not her rabbits. You're never going to see a single rabbit in this video.
cage, and she didn't care. She completely neglected these animals, and I'm not going to sit around and let people say that she didn't. People who came to my house knew that they were neglected. This is an up-close view
There's no rabbit.
of the rabbit cage being completely disgusting and neglected. She left them to die, and I'm not going to sit here and have her pretend she didn't. It's fucking disgusting.
If she is neglecting the animals, then why aren't they dying at the new house? If Emaru is the problem and she's neglecting these animals, then why are there no dead rabbits in the new house? And why are there no dead rabbits in the house before this? Why are there no rabbits in the video? This is a video your brother took? When was the video taken?
This is a video from my own brother. I didn't record this. These are mites all around her cage.
How would he know if they aren't dying at her house now? So you think she's abusing them in her house now too? You think somebody with like a proven track record of lying, trying to misrepresent things, being abusive constantly, is out of all the things telling the truth about the one thing that in every other situation isn't true except for this one 15-second video? Like, you really have to, again, like, this is a mountain versus a molehill. You're not even thinking about this.
I would tell her to take care of them all the time, but to no avail. She completely neglected those rabbits.
Is there a zoomed out view of the mess? This looks like discarded bedding that was thrown away. No, there's no zoomed out view. It's a 15-second video with not even a single, zoom out, contextualized anything. And the rabbits aren't even there.
Much that many died just over a year or two of being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt bad, and my brother once came over and said that if I marry her, he'll never forgive me. In fact, when Maya came over during my cancellation, she actually commented on Emaru's rabbits and said, "These rabbits are completely neglected and this is disgusting." Emaru wouldn't clean the cages, and the smell became so bad that we started to have the rabbits just be outside. I told her if that's the case, she's got to make sure she's giving them water, because they are her responsibility. Instead, these rabbits were left outside in 100-degree heat with no food or water or anything.
I can't comment on what Maya said.
Most of the time being in cages with no bedding besides poop all over the place. Emmy didn't care. She would sit inside and play League of Legends all day. And what this showed me is that I don't want her to be my children's mother, and I couldn't see myself marrying her.
Which is the reason why you texted her 40 times after this, after she left. And you, like, chat GPT'd, potentially, things about how you wanted to get married to her, and you told multiple other people that you thought that you were gonna get married. You're just lying. He's just lying. Like, that's all there is to it. Yeah, and it also makes, like, the thing is, like, him saying this, I don't think he realizes this, but it also makes Russell and Simply look really bad, too. Which are, like, two people that are getting AoE'd by this, that he just doesn't even consider the way that they feel at all. And I think that really that's another example of an entire pattern that we're all seeing here, is that Russell and Simply now are being, because they live in this house, and they were also complicit with, theoretically, these animals being mistreated. So you see how quickly he just throws people under the bus, even his own friends.
The fights from these times started to get worse. I would constantly want to be farther and farther from her. I would use her for content, but after stream would want to be alone. I didn't know how to break up with her or end things. She was a co-owner of my org, the only person I knew, and the strain of the relationship and hiding the relationship was really taking a toll on me. On top of that, the stalkers were getting worse. One stalker came to my house and I had to point a gun at him for 30 minutes until the cops came. These stalkers are no joke, and the pressure from the relationship, the anger I felt, and the stalkers as a whole really made us lash out at each other. She would tell me that she doesn't realize
what this is like some stalker thing. Like, yeah, you had stalkers as an issue, etc. This is what happens, right? That's why you have security. I mean, and also, like, by the way, it's like, this is like, don't buy a bird if you don't want the bird to make bird sounds. This girl had stalkers in Kansas. You invite her to Austin, and then you complain that she has stalkers there too. Like, why would you expect that not to continue? You see what I'm saying? So, like, you're now guilt-tripping her for the thing that you promised her that you would prevent happening. It's like you didn't expect it? Yeah. From our stalkers? No, I mean, I don't know. Like, again, if you guys ever noticed that I've never talked about any sort of privacy or security things about myself ever. Ever. It's because I don't want to farm. Like, I could do that and maybe farm sympathy or some other bullshit. Like what Miz did on that pier, releasing that story about Emeru's stalker, acting like he was the hero when it was actually Bonnie that went out there and confronted the person. So, it's just bullshit. Like, it just makes things worse. Yeah, exactly. And so, like, really, it's again... Yeah, obviously, I bet it was really stressful, but, like, I think that he's using this again to obfuscate and to... What's the way to say it? To kind of muddy the waters between the hostilities between them. He's basically trying to shift a relationship where he was the aggressor and the abuser, at least allegedly, right? I've got to say this for legal reasons. Allegedly, the aggressor and the abuser towards Emeru, and shift this into we were both wrong. When it's like, actually, it seems like, and by the way, everybody else, keep in mind, everybody else, nobody's backed him up on this. No other creator has backed him up on this. Nobody's taken his side. A lot of his own, even his old roommates, his old friends, his old girlfriends, nobody's taking his side.
She's doing, that she didn't understand what she was doing wrong. But I would constantly tell her, on and off stream, that she needs to do more because these stalkers are getting worse. I know I wasn't perfect with my language or tone throughout this entire relationship. I know I wasn't. And I was aggressive at times. In regards to being controlling, I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole.
Why would you tell her to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole whenever you went live and then you told a story that was her private story that wasn't public about stalkers and schizos? Against her consent.
Stop talking about past relationships, and yes, I didn't want her to travel without me. I also said that I didn't want her to hang out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt. I didn't want Emmy to get assaulted. I didn't want some man to do something to her when I'm not there, and I wanted to keep her safe. And I know with how my mental was and who I was back then that I didn't do everything right. I know I could have done...
Well, I mean, that's like kind of like definitely a really... It's really kind of minimizing it, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't do everything right. Yeah.
Better, and I'm sorry. I know I was controlling and I should have just ended the fucking relationship, but I was so confused as a person. And I'm sorry I did it. I'm sorry things got to this fucking point, man. The last 9 months of this relationship, things got extremely fucking toxic. I told her to move out. She didn't move out on her own. I told her to move out.
This is the passive language. Things got toxic. You see what I'm saying? Like,
wanted space, but she still wanted me around at all times. She would get upset if we didn't sleep together or if we weren't around. She always wanted me to drive over to her.
Keep in mind that, like, ever since this happened, there have been 2 additional people that have alleged that he assaulted them within less than 24 hours of this stuff coming out. And not a single person that is in the space that knew him is really defending him.
House, but I never wanted to because I wanted to be alone. And that increased our fights.
In OTK? He hasn't been in OTK for a long time. Yeah, Miz watchers. I understand. Listen, guys. I understand if you're a fan of Miz and you like Miz and you want to act like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, well, some of this stuff might not be true. Even if half of it's true, it's bad. Like, I don't know why, like, you should read something and see it based off of that. You're leaving everything Emma says because she's your friend? It's because there's a fucking screenshot. There's a screenshot and she's got dozens of people saying, yeah, this is what happened. There are other, and I will say too, I know people get mad at me for this. There are other stories of things that will be points on the same graph making the same line.
Stalkers continued, and I got even more stressed.
I said it last time. People got mad. They said I was vague posting. I'm being serious. Source, trust me, bro. The story that I would tell you has 5 other witnesses.
They started to take pictures of me whenever I would drive to her house. They knew my every movement. I couldn't take it. Between the rabbits, the stalkers, and the overall ability to handle situations with each other, I knew this wouldn't last, but I didn't know how to get out of the relationship. She did not want to move out. As for me telling Cheddar to leave my house, he was swatting at Chompy constantly and making him bleed. I not only was the one that wanted her to move out first, I was the one that wanted the cat out of the house because he was attacking my cat. Every month went by the last year and our fights started to get louder. We were breaking up with each other almost weekly. Fights were getting more aggressive and shouting began to increase. I was not perfect and I reflect on those situations poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression. I
think, again, the reason why he's using the plushies or he's using the clothes as an example is because you can't prove that, whereas you can with holes in the door or damaged property. It's very easy to show a hole in a wall and say this is what happened. But there's not going to be any evidence or any proof of somebody throwing a plushie. So he can say this, and there's no way that you can really disprove this happening. But you can go around his old house and see holes in the wall. You see what I'm saying? They aren't equal. I mean, well, beyond that.
one time did say I was going to kill myself during an argument, but Emmy did this as well numerous times. She would constantly say she's going to kill herself in arguments, and I have a picture where while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers who came to my house while she was in Kansas, She told me she was going to kill herself out of aggression of the situation while it was happening. This is the situation. I told her that a stalker's at the house. I'm freaking out.
Somebody says, and I want to address this claim because it's been a question that a lot of people have really brought up, and I want to talk about this just for a couple of minutes. Can streamers keep their relationships between them private? Stop being such attention whores or monetizing everything, be paragons of virtues, don't want to be criticized. Kind of drama is pathetic to adult individuals. This is the reason why they can't do that. The reason why is because when you do that and you try to be the bigger person, and you'd know this if you listened to what Emmy said yesterday, that there were multiple times where he tried to invade her private life and cause problems for her privately and make things worse for her and also damage her career. Saying negative things about her to people privately, trying to say bad things publicly also, maybe indirectly, letting his community do that. Look at the Rust clip. If she didn't say something about this, then nobody else would have known, and there would have been a possibility that something bad could have happened to another person. Because he is a public figure. And by calling out a public figure like this, and saying this is what this person is doing, it lets everybody else know in the public this is what's going on. People like that actively will try to sabotage you and damage your life. That's another thing too. Like, this hasn't really come out yet, but there will be instances of this happening. And again, I apologize for being vague, but just give it a couple of days. If you want me to be completely as transparent as I can be, it's because I want to make sure that these people have legal counsel before they say anything, because they're worried, because they don't have the position that Emmy or I do. And that's the reason. I've really tried to act I've tried to do the best that I can. And obviously, nobody is perfect, especially not me. But I have tried.
What is happening? Can you call me? I'll call you. I literally want to kill myself. I can't take this anymore. I feel so alone and like a problem. Just want to show this. She was also using the I want to kill myself a lot in our situation and relationship. This is while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers. This stalker who was at my house, his background picture was Emaru. And when he talked to the cops, he was in love with her and thought that she was talking to him. It is disgusting what these stalkers can do. I will say this. The fact that this guy came to my house and the result of it was a cop brought him down the street to a QT, which is a 7-Eleven, 15 minutes away, and that's all they did, is terrifying for these girls and terrifying for the situation in general. I knew that the relationship wasn't healthy at this point. I knew we had to end it, and soon. One day, Emmy posted a very provocative picture, one that she knew I would hate, and she posted it to make me upset. She admitted that she made me upset with it, and we got into a heated argument.
You see the language. She posted it to make me upset, and she admitted that it made me upset. One of them has intent, the other one has acknowledgement. You see how this happens?
And I broke up with her. We broke up for about a month. Then got back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong, or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then. But we got back together soon afterwards. And during those last few months where we were fighting, we were still fighting, but it did feel like the relationship had good progress. We should see what we want, and Emmy had an idea to write down everything we wanted on paper. I'm going to let everyone know that what I'm about to say is very true. This is exactly what happened, and she cannot argue this. One day, after staying over Emiru's house, Emiru made me breakfast, and she wrote down everything she wanted. She wrote she wants me to move closer to her. She wrote that she wants me to marry her. And she wants
Obviously.
kids with me in the next 5 years. And I just looked at this letter that I was staring in front of me, and I just handed her back the paper. She began to cry, and I told her, I'm sorry, I just can't do this anymore. I knew we were just beyond the point of toxicity in the relationship, that our trust had completely...
This is, keep in mind, in the context of before that he sends her all of these messages and all of this stuff, trying to get her back.
died, and that we had so many issues that I couldn't deal with it, and I was not mentally well. I walked away. I went to her door, and as I opened it, the last words I ever heard her say is, "Don't go. I love you." That week, I made flights to Japan because I didn't want to sit around and wait to possibly get back together again. I have never talked to her in person since. I have messaged her numerous times wondering why I have been removed from OTK, Discords, and I was very scared because I didn't know what was going on. Nobody was talking to me or contacting me, and I have had so much regret.
It was another reason.
Times where I wanted to go back, times where I've...
Like, all of those decisions had already been made before any of this had come out. Yep, totally different reason. Elaborate? I will. I don't want to do it today because I think that there are other people that I would prefer say it. But I will if it doesn't come out. Just, I fuck off? Why? No, you have to understand that... Is this drama baiting for views? How is it drama baiting for views? Like, I said that this stuff would come out. It did. Just because I'm not going to immediately... I understand that there's a lot of people that are really young and you don't understand the complexities of things like this. But yeah, this stuff is really complex and hard. And it's not just as simple as simply saying whatever you think happened. It's a lot of complexity with this, and there's multiple people involved, and there are other obligations and conflicting variables. And yeah, I'm not going to immediately say why and explain the entire thing. But what I will say is that that's not why it happened.
Drunk messaged her love letters, as you saw on stream. But after 10 months, I know we're much better off without each other. I did see her at a party once at Simply's house. The house was very small, and I opened the door, I said whoops, and proceeded to talk in the other room about what I possibly did wrong, and began to bawl out and be depressed because I just saw my ex-girlfriend. I want to make it very clear. I was not following her, nor lingering around her. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about 50 people there. I, of course, was near her, but I was never following her. This year has been very hard for me, and I'm sure for her. I even went to Japan and drank every single night just to sleep. Going from being with each other for 3 years straight and trauma bonding to be completely alone is such a difficult thing for both of us. I began therapy in February of this year with EMDR therapy, something she recommended me when we were dating. I'm very happy to say that I feel better than ever, and I've gotten a lot of the stress I've had.
Surely. If you got all the stress that you had and everything, then why were you just at TwitchCon threatening her employees that you would destroy Emiru if she came out with anything about you? If you've really changed as a person, then why have you, within the last week, been doing the exact same thing that, you know, you've been saying you're trying to avoid? You see what I'm saying? I was following and believe it only has to look, but why? I mean, I don't know. And this is the thing. That whole video is him trying to save face? No, it is. It 100% is. It's clear you're trying to do the right thing. There's things not your story to tell, and giving the others the opportunity to speak up. Yeah. And I will tell you this. If other people don't tell the story, I will tell it. I did get permission from one of the people, the person that was the most affected by it. I got the permission from that person last night to tell the story. I will tell the story why Miz was removed from OTK. If they don't want to, I'll do it. I'll respect their wishes and their privacy, but I will do it. And you'll see that it had nothing to do with this. And again, I apologize for not being able to drop everything immediately. But there's a lot of reasons for that. And I apologize. Hopefully you can see that with all of this blow up, I wasn't bullshitting. I wasn't bullshitting then. I'm not bullshitting now.
Away. I've also moved from Austin myself, and I've had a lot of trauma lingering from there as a whole, and I feel a lot better from that.
Like, I mean, again, like, what about the other people that were negatively affected? Her trauma. It's all about him. That's the thing. This is the entire thing.
I truly hope nothing but the best for Emmy. I know she said a lot of these things today, and
if you hope nothing but the best for her, then why did you say that at a party that you would destroy her? Why did you say that? You hope the best for her, but you want to also destroy her? You're lying.
I believe a lot of them were false, but I do hope nothing but the best for her, and I'm sorry that any of this happened. I hate that we're in this situation, and I hope that she can move on. We were in a toxic relationship. I saw that. I've realized over the years of 2 relationships now online that I'm a horrible boyfriend and I have a lot to work on for myself. I've been single for the past 10 months, and I plan to stay that way. I'm continuing to go to therapy and work on my...
If she releases this stuff, he'd destroy her? Yeah. Because he didn't want it to get exposed. It's that simple. Yeah, he's trying to... And then he's also trying to blackmail other people by trying to say he'll release damaging information about them. Yeah. You can't want the best for somebody and then just less than a week ago be threatening to destroy them if they do the thing that you're responding to them doing. You see what I'm saying? It's just manipulation. It's lying and manipulation.
Myself, not just for me, but for the people around me. If you're wondering if it's scripted, the answer is, of course it is. I wrote it out because I cannot freeball this. This is a very serious situation. I want to make this real, and that's it. Okay? I'm going to stand up for myself. I am going to defend myself in these situations. I am not going away. I have no plans to go away. And I believe a lot of the situations today were absolutely exaggerated. I have dozens of photos and videos, calls and messages as well, if she has them. I have things I will be leaking over the next few days of other people, of other things. I have a lot of messages that I have that I'm going to expose as time goes on, because I do believe that this is a time to go fucking buck wild. But I want to make it very clear. When it comes to Emiru, when she says that I was getting ready to go after her and that I was going to use her rabbits against her, that was never the plan. My plan...
Yeah, it was.
And for myself was very simple. If Emmy were to say something about me, I would say something back. That's it. I never had a plan in my life to go after her or do anything. It was if she ever said anything...
So my plan wasn't to do this. My plan was to do this if she did this.
I would say something as well. And that's completely
understandable.
understandable. Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon? I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen. Because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry I don't. Go after me all you want. I have nothing to lose. And I will say this proudly. Emeru abused those rabbits. She did. And if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to say that she didn't abuse those rabbits at my house, you're lying. You know she did. She abused those rabbits and she let them outside. And it's disgusting.
As I said, I've never seen any evidence of that. Everything, I mean, again, like whenever she's in her new house and in the house before that, the rabbits were being taken care of and they weren't being abused. You could ask Bonnie and Senna that. It's just bullshit.
And I didn't want to bring this up ever. This was not something I planned on bringing up in my life. But
she spent tens of thousands of dollars on like emergency veterinary care because one of her rabbits crashed out.
That she claims that she didn't do, and people are trying to defend her from that, like Asmongold, where he says that one of her rabbits she took and brought around. What about the other 6 rabbits that died? As for what happened with me and Emeru, it is I mentally have been fucked up for years, and I'm very proud of myself for working on myself. And I think leaving Austin was the best thing.
Not mentioned.
Just for me, but for everyone around me. I do believe that. I fucked up a lot, and I'm never gonna not admit that. And I realized I need to be alone. I never got kicked out of Austin, Texas. I left myself. I'm absolutely.
I think that if you just look at who's collaborating with him and who's making content with him, I think that really tells you like what really happened. You know what I've always said is like listen to what people do rather than what they say. Are all these people in Austin collaborating with him and doing stuff with him at all? E-Rob. Yeah, E-Rob did an event with him. Yeah. Did 6 more actually die? I have no idea. Like, I wasn't there with the rabbits every single time. I have no idea.
Mentally fucked. I have been slowly working on it. I do feel like I've been getting better. I feel like I'm very calm right now. I don't feel stressed. I don't even feel angry. I feel that every day I'm trying to learn more and more and do better, but I'm going to stand up for myself in a lot of these situations because a lot of it was not true. And I don't like that she was portraying that it was just me who was at fault. It was a toxic relationship, and that's what it was. Why was viewership so important?
It's a toxic relationship. Oh my fucking god. This is some like Amber Heard defense. Like, oh, we both made mistakes. Like, no. Bro, you would... Oh my god. It's trying to, you know, again, muddy the waters. Muddy the waters. It's an oversimplification. Oh, everybody made mistakes, etc., right?
I will bluntly say this, and I'm very honest. I was, and I still am, but I very much was someone that was massively obsessed with streaming and viewership. And when my cancellation happened, and even before it, I mean, it's something you guys know. I've been massively obsessed with streaming and viewership over the years, and it's disgusting, and it has ruined my fucking life.
Yeah,
it is something that I am envious of others. I am angry at others because of it. It makes me jealous when I see others doing well, and it has made me realize that I am I'm never happy for someone else if they're doing much better than me. You guys know this is true if you watch my old stream. I've always been this way. I've been very envious of other people, and
it's okay to be envious and it's okay to be competitive, but whenever you let that envy and competition allow you to be abusive, aggressive, and hostile to other people and actively try to damage them, that's the problem. Like, the moment that your emotions leave your own mind and they manifest into actions, that's the issue. So nobody's really criticizing Miz and saying that you're a bad person for being envious of Emeru doing well or being envious of Maya doing well in the past. That has nothing really to do with it. What it does have to do is that the comment viewer goes, no, yeah, exactly, right? And the problem is that you have you're performing actions, you're doing things that hurt other people. Yeah, I saw Nina Lynn got unbanned. You guys can stop telling me that. I'll look at it after this, okay? If you don't mind.
It's a problem. It's a serious. I'm definitely way better than I was now, or I am now. But it's a serious problem that I am still working on to this day. I am not perfect, and I fucked up with that. I've been this way for a very fucking long time, where I'm a competitive dude, and I think I'm very competitive with streaming because I really care about it a lot. I've sunk my whole life into this thing. Did you really drive 150 miles an hour? I'm going to say this very clear. If you know me in Austin, Texas, I drive fast everywhere. I drive fast literally everywhere. I'm in an Audi R8 in Austin, Texas, where the freeways are open. I drive fast all the time. I remember one time when she was picking me up from the airport and she was in her blue Corvette and she started the speed when we were on a straightaway when she was getting mad and she stayed quiet. I don't remember the exact speed she got up to, but we were definitely flying. But I'll say this. I have no problem admitting fault.
I've been in the car with Imru driving. I've never had her do that. Multiple people have been in the car with Mizkif driving. They have had him do that. It's just... I mean, I don't know. Other people can give their opinions and, like, tell me if they were ever in a car with Imru driving and she drove really fast and made them feel unsafe. As far as I know, I haven't seen a single or heard a single person say that. But there's already been 3 people, like Emmy, Blastoise, and Maya, that have all said that. That's still anecdotal evidence. Come on.
The person that I was during that relationship, and I would say the Mizkif in Austin, Texas, is fucking disgusting. I hated myself. I hated this person that just sat there all day, stressed and angry and mad at the fucking world. I hated being this...
He was spam texting her when he lived in LA and threatening to destroy her in LA. It's not like he changed when he went to LA.
Upset person, because I know you are who you hang out with. And I definitely changed Emmy in a lot of ways and made her very stressed as well. And mentally, the situations we were in just...
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I kind of stressed her out a little bit. Yeah.
Cataclysm, both of us. I was a very toxic person and I knew I needed to get out, so I broke up with her. In fact, I broke up with her twice. The first time I broke up with her, I really thought it was over. And the second time I broke up with her was forever. I did message her a lot afterwards, primarily for OTK stuff, but there were times where I did want to go back to her. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. I was drunk. I thought I needed to, but yeah, that's it. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. This is something I think that we went over, and I am glad that it is out there, what I just said. And that's it. So
I like how people are mad at me, right? Even mad at me. You're disloyal. Of course I'm gonna be disloyal because he was disloyal to us. And you'll see that. He was. He lied to us about the entire Imru situation to begin with in order to maintain his position in the company that wouldn't have even changed to begin with. We never did anything against him. We never initiated any sort of dishonesty at all.
That's it. I said what I had to say.
And also, like, why would we be loyal to this in the first place? I mean, it's bad behavior. And you're clearly biased. Of course I'm biased. Duh. What do you think? Of course I'm biased. Because I know what happened. Yeah, obviously you're going to be biased. If you know something about a situation that is more than what the public would know, then yes, obviously you're going to be biased about it because you know things that were you there? In some of these cases, yes. The bias towards being the truth. Yeah, exactly. Like I it's not about whether this is like, oh, whose side this is on. These are just things that straight up happened. Like, I'm not saying every single thing that Emmy said is 100% accurate or every single thing Cuco said is 100% accurate. I can't say that. For a legal reason, I can't say that. But what I can say is that the things that I have seen and everything that I have been witness to indicates that Miz is a liar. He's lied to OTK multiple... He lied to OTK multiple times about really big things. Talk about loyalty. After, again, we all stuck our neck out and everybody went out of their way. Everybody went through and, you know, we all went through like with this big investigation and we tried to clear his name and we tried to bring him back in and support him through this and do everything. This is all while he was lying to us. The entire time. The guy mocked Charlie Kirk's death, of course. Can anyone in OTK come out and corroborate? Yes. I think so.
You guys listening, and I will be back. I'm not leaving anytime soon. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.
I feel like if he
This is just XQC. Is this anything else? He's like using XQC to look at it. So yeah, there it is. Has Maya said anything about it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. XQC said he lied about him crying to him at BJ's. I don't think you're not biased. Bias implies prejudice and unfairness. As if you have firsthand knowledge in some of the cases, I don't think it applies. Yeah, I'm biased to the truth because I know things that are not public, right? I mean, obviously. And they will be public. They will be. I have a toxic relationship with a gal. She was toxic, but it comes down to he said, she said. To marginalize this and to say that it was a toxic relationship is to completely invalidate a year-long, multi-year-long, ongoing cycle of abuse that affected multiple people. It was not just Emeru. There was other people as well. This is not a he said, she said situation. So, the video of him banging Emmy's door has been posted on YouTube? Yeah. Like, where's the videos of Emmy doing anything like that? Where's the videos of him yelling? Where are the holes on the wall that Emmy is punched in the wall? Where are the other people coming out with stories about Emeru sexually assaulting them? There's none. I wonder why.